Hi everyone, and thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation today. My name is Scott Silva, and I am the Zero Waste Program Manager with Wastebusters. Today we'll be talking about waste sorting in San Francisco and teach you all how to sort waste into the proper waste stream. So today we'll be talking about the San Francisco city ordinances that impact the way that waste is sorted here in the city. Additionally, we'll be talking about how to sort trash into compost, recycle, and landfill waste streams. So first, let's talk about the zero waste ordinances that impact the way waste is managed in the city of San Francisco. First, the city constitution states that all residents and businesses within the city of San Francisco must properly sort their waste into recycle, compost, and landfill, and dispose of them into the proper dumpster. We have to make sure that our trash and waste streams are clean and not contaminated. Compost must be less than 5% contaminated, recycle must be less than 10% contaminated, and landfill must be less than 25% contaminated. Additionally, dumpsters are audited randomly by the city of San Francisco, so we need to make sure that we are on top of our game and able to sort trash into the right streams. So now we'll begin to talk about the different waste streams here in San Francisco. San Francisco is quite unique when compared to a lot of other cities, even the other ones in the Bay Area, as a lot of items can be accepted in both the recycle and the compost that are not normally accepted in these waste streams. So first, we're going to talk about compost. Compost is anything that was once alive, anything that's organic. So this includes all of food waste, including meat, bones, and food scraps. Additionally, you can place your soiled or wet paper, such as paper bags, paper to-go containers, and any paper napkins and paper towels that you may come across. Additionally, plant debris such as flowers or an old bouquet of flowers with the plastic removed can go into the compost. And finally, any plastics labeled with the words compostable or have the BPI certification can be placed into the compost. So here are some common examples of compost. As you can see, there's a bunch of food waste, all types of sausages, meat, bread, eggs. Additionally, you can also find some paper towels in here, as well as any organic items such as this cork. It's really important to separate your paper towels from your wet ones or other wet wipes. This is because the wet wipes and wet ones, or baby wipes, are often made with a plastic or a cloth that cannot be composted. So if you're using disinfectant wipes or any type of wet ones, baby wipes, please make sure to place them into the landfill. Any paper towels or napkins that do not have any cloth or plastic on them can be placed into the compost. Next, we'll talk about my favorite waste stream, recycling. Recycling has to be clean, loose, and dry containers, as well as clean, loose, and dry paper. Please note that I'm emphasizing clean, loose, and dry. This means that there should be no water, no residue. Recycling items include plastic containers such as plastic water bottles or other plastic tubs, again, clean and dry, no liquids. Bottles and cans such as glass bottles or aluminum cans can be placed into the recycle. Clean and dry paper such as printer paper, paper bags, cardboard boxes that are dry. Aluminum cans and aluminum foil, if they're clean without any food, can be placed into the recycle. Tin and steel cans, such as soup containers, can be placed into the recycle. Additionally, which is very unique to San Francisco, is coffee cups can be placed into the recycle. The city prefers that coffee cups are placed into the recycle versus any of the other waste streams, as there is a market for recycling these, specifically in the city of San Francisco. And finally, another kind of unique one for the city of San Francisco is milk and juice cartons and Tetra Pak containers, such as soup cartons, can be placed into the recycle. So here are some common examples of recycling waste. Milk cartons, if they're empty and free of milk, you can place them into the recycle. As you can see also on the picture on the right, there's some plastic jugs that are clean, as well as clean aluminum foil and clean cardboard. Finally, the bottom image shows a clean cup without any liquid in it. Please make sure to empty all liquids into a sink and not into any trash cans to prevent any liquid from coming out when we're changing the trash bags. So a common question that we get as waste management professionals is how clean does a container have to be in order for it to be placed into the recycle? A few general rules of thumb are not dripping, no liquids or no food remnants should be placed into the recycle. Additionally, if you flip the container upside down and no residue or food comes out, that is clean enough for it to be placed into the recycle. If there is food waste on a container, simply dump the food waste into the compost and place the container into the recycle, and ensure that the recycle item is free of contamination or any other moisture. One thing that I'd like to bring up is the idea of wish cycling. Wish cycling is the concept of placing an item that is questionably recyclable into the recycling dumpster and hoping that it has a second life or will get recycled in the end. This actually can do more harm than good, and if, for example, if you place a dirty container into the recycle, it can damage all the containers and all the paper around it, rendering those non-recyclable. If you have a container or item that is not clearly recyclable, and it's not clearly a clean and dry rigid container or a clean and dry piece of paper, it's best to place it into the landfill. Finally, the last waste stream that we'll talk about is landfill. Landfill is anything that is not clearly recyclable or compostable. If you have an item that you may think is recycle or compost and you're not exactly sure on what waste stream it should go into, it's best to throw it out. When in doubt, throw it out. This includes all soft and flexible plastics that can bend or fold, such as plastic bags, plastic wrap, chip bags, or other plastic tubes, such as a toothpaste style tube. Styrofoam and other dirty plastics will need to be placed into the landfill. This includes any types of Tupperware containers that have food that cannot be removed, such as jelly or other really sticky substances. Gloves, masks, and PPE should be placed into the landfill. Additionally, broken dishes, such as ceramics, as well as Glassware, such as glass cups, are different than bottle glass, should be placed into the landfill. And finally, other weird inert items such as sponges and textiles should be placed into the landfill. So here are some examples of landfill waste. All of these items are clearly not recycle or compost. First, the chip bag is one of those soft folding plastics that cannot be placed into the recycle. Recycling is only clean and dry, rigid containers. This is one of those flexible, soft plastics such as plastic wrap that should be placed in the landfill. Any vacuum, lint, or textile, additionally PPE such as masks and gloves, should be placed into the landfill. Here are some more examples of landfill waste. As you can see on the photo on the left, there's a lot of soft plastics as well as other types of PPE and disinfectant wipes. All of these items are not recycle or compost, so they should be placed into the landfill. Finally, on the right, you can see that there's these small plastic containers that are rigid, but they are covered with ice cream and other types of syrupy ingredients. It isn't going to be impossible to clean these in a timely manner, so they should be placed into the landfill. Some items cannot be placed into any waste stream, and that is because they are considered hazardous waste or universal wastes. If the city were to find any of these items during their audits, they would assess immediate fines, so we need to make sure that we are handling these items properly. Additionally, most universal and hazardous waste are very harmful to the environment. These items include all types of LED, fluorescent, and mercury-containing light bulbs, batteries, any chemicals or pesticides, paint, and any non-empty spray cans. Universal wastes are items that can actually be recycled, and this includes electronics and other items that have cords attached. Any electronics should be handled separately from the hazardous waste items. To properly dispose of these items, please contact the maintenance team. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to our presentation, and we hope that we were able to better inform you of the waste sorting practices that are required in San Francisco.